Hello friends, Sarah from Sweet Scents from the Dollhouse. I'm bringing you another Most Requested Monday. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe and hang out with us. If you are a returning subscriber, you know that a couple weeks back I started something called Most Requested Monday, where I leave it up to my subscribers. You guys choose the topic content and I film a video about whatever you want me to talk about. So last week I did Organized Chaos and Smothering Love, My Life with OCD. Thank you to everybody who engaged and asked questions. I even had some people email me privately because they wanted to discuss whether it be family members that they suspect are suffering or showing signs and symptoms, or they've reached out to me. Some of them even saying like, you know, I've always known that there's something wrong with me, but I didn't think it was that. Like, it was very cool to be able to talk to you guys. So something that's been very troublesome in my life, it's interesting to be able to have a platform such as YouTube, to be able to share that and the outreach of a channel like this. Even though we're just a small but mighty channel, it was quite profound how many people reached out to me, contacted me, left me beautiful comments of support, sent me their love, as well as reached out to me to discuss things in their life. So I thank you for your understanding and your grace, and I love it. Like, there's a lot of shitty things on YouTube, but I am so thankful that here at Sweet Scents from the Dollhouse, I just have the coolest subscribers ever, so thank you for that. On that video, my subscriber Geniveive requested that I do a Most Requested Monday on prom season. If you've tuned into my channel for a while, you know that I have 3 daughters, 2 of which are 4 years apart. Here in Canada, we don't really have middle schools. There are certain sectors that still have middle schools, but it's something that the Ontario government has pretty much phased out. So our children go to school from junior kindergarten to grade 8. They graduate grade 8, go into high school from grade 9 to grade 12. So not good planning on my part, because this could have very well been one of the most expensive years of my life. Tatum's prom was June 2nd, and Grace's grade 8 graduation is this Thursday, the 21st. So we are very, very excited. Thankfully, they have been a couple weeks apart, so I can take a breath and go again. And keep in mind, like, this is just my own personal experience. It's been said a couple times, more than a couple times in my life, that I am very extravagant when it comes to special occasions, especially for my children, that I go above and beyond. Like, I would spend my last $3 in my bank account and go without, versus let my kids have a subpar celebration, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm very extra when it comes to special occasions. And not just for my kids, I'm kind of extra when it comes to everything else too, because I don't know. I like to spoil people. I like it when, you know, I have a chance or am able to make people's special occasion this much extra special. I do what I can. So please bear in mind that if this does seem grand or over the top, this is what I do, and it's not to say that every parent has to do that, or vice versa. There might be some extravagant things that you intend on doing for your children, or you plan to do for your children that I don't mention in this video. But again, each to their own. So when I say this could have very well been the most expensive year of my life, I knew this well in advance and started to save about a year ahead of time. Because, you know, you're looking at grade 8 grad dresses go from anywhere. You can find grade 8 grad dresses for $50 all the way up to $500. I know for Tatum's grade 8 grad dress, we spent just over $400 by the time we bought the dress from a boutique and got alterations and this, that, the other thing. Like, it definitely adds up. A prom dress. Hi, babe. Can you please close the door so Lex can't get out? Thank you. A prom dress, I mean, again, you can spend $50 on a prom dress all the way up to $1,300. Like, some people's wedding dresses don't even cost as much as what some families decide to spend on a prom dress. And I was fully prepared. It was funny because the stylist that was doing Tatum's hair, she said, you know, some parents are so extravagant and so over the top, and don't they realize it's only one day and they don't know how to say no to their kids? And Tatum just looked at me in the mirror and she's like, that's my mom. Like, my mom won't tell me no on my special day. So all of a sudden the hairdresser's like, but, and it goes without saying, like, my kids are spoiled, but they're not spoiled brats. I see the difference. My kids know the difference. They know that they are very, very, very blessed with what their dad and I can do for them and what we have done for them. And not for 1 second do they take it for granted or act like spoiled little assholes. So Tatum knew that the sky was the limit. Like, she could have whatever she wanted for her big day. So going back about 7 months, 8 months, I was like, okay, it's time we start looking. And she had been looking for almost a year at different prom magazines and bridal magazines and so on and so forth, trying to decipher what kind of dress she wanted. And if you've ever had the pleasure of having a 17-year-old, you know they change their mind more than they change their underwear. First, she's like, I'm not going to prom. I'm boycotting prom. Prom's stupid. Girl, I went to prom when I was a teenager, but I went to everybody else's prom as somebody's date until it came to my own fucking prom. And I was at home breastfeeding that girl because at the time she was 3 months old. So I missed my prom. I'm not having my kid sit her prom out for no good reason other than, you know, she's in one of her moods. Not a chance. So then it went to, okay, I'll go to prom, but I'm going to do something like super dark and sexy and goth and not so like over the top crazy. I'm like, yeah, okay. I knew that the second I took her to like Elizabeth Noel, which is a very popular prom boutique where I'm from, I knew that the second I took her in there and she put a princess dress on, I knew my girl. I knew my girl would want it all, like all the bells and whistles. So that's what we did. We planned a couple trips just to try things on, just to get a feel. And sure enough, she tried on the big extravagant dresses and she went crazy. We started to book all of these different appointments to go dress fitting, and that is one thing I would definitely suggest. Book an appointment, especially if you leave it till last minute, because these boutiques tend to fill up. And if you're in there spending top dollar, you want the one-on-one attention. Yes, that's a rhinestone. It's a black rhinestone. Speaking of prom, that's left over from Tatum's prom. Wow. So you want that one-on-one attention. You're in their boutique. You're going to spend good money. You deserve that one-on-one attention. And if the boutique does do special appointments, you'll have a sales associate with you at all times. That's their job. They follow you around, they get you dresses, they put things back, try things on, they look up colors, they look up selections, styles, as well as the majority of these boutiques keep a list. So if you're, I can't say for sure all of them, but I'd say in this day and age, the majority of them keep a list. So say, for instance, we're at Elizabeth Noel. We walk in, we say, this is Tatum. This is the high school she goes to. They have a list of all of the girls from that high school to make sure that Tatum doesn't show up to her high school prom in the same dress as anyone else. Brilliant. Because I know back in the day, like when I went to high school, that was like fist fight worthy. If some bitch showed up in the same outfit as you, you're scrapping, especially if you spent $1,000 to play twins for a day. Like, not a chance. So that's amazing. I would really be shocked in this day and age if you go into a prom or like a formal boutique and they didn't have a prom listing like that. So sure enough, we had gone into a couple different appointments, tried various things on. What are you doing, girl? And Tatum comes running down the stairs one day. And my daughter's big into Instagram. She doesn't do Facebook or not even YouTube or anything like that, but she loves Instagram. And she says, Mom, so-and-so is selling her dress. This is a dress that Tatum has talked about for a year. This was like her grand reference. I want my dress to look like so-and-so's dress, or I like this about so-and-so's dress, and I like that about everything was compared to this dress. You know, when you just have a vision. She didn't know the designer. She didn't know anything about it other than this girl in East Elgin, we live in West Elgin, wore this, not even this, the dress of her dreams the year prior. She's like, she's in university, she's broke, and she's selling the dress. No. Really? You want to buy a secondhand dress? And I'm not above that, but I was just shocked because, again, Tatum's father and I had just given her the sky as the limit. You know, you can have whatever you want. And she was like, Mom, if I message her right now, can we go tomorrow and look at this dress? I said, shh, absolutely. How much does she want for it? $450. Fuck yeah. Yeah, we can go. I will drive you there right now if you want. So Tatum's stepmom and I also have an amazing relationship that unfortunately not enough biological and step parents have. So I said, make sure Allison's available. Like that's pivotal. My heart would break if we had to rush out and do this without Allie. So sure enough, Allie dropped what she was doing. We met up. We all went to Elmer for the day, and Tatum tried on the dress. The whole way there, she was like flipping out, so scared. She's like, it's a 00, Mom. And I put on some weight. She's teeny tiny, real thin. But my girl, Tatum's, it's hard to tell, but she's thick. Like, she's got thighs and she's got a little booty on her. So she's like, there's no way I'm going to fit in a 00. I'm like, don't get your panties in a knot just yet. Let's see how the dress is built. Let's see if she had alterations done. Maybe we could take them out a bit or whatever. Let's not get crazy until we get there. Sure enough, the dress was, I think, $1,200 originally from Elizabeth Noel. We bought it secondhand, fit like a glove. The only downfall was that she hadn't had it cleaned. Big deal. Once I took it to the dry cleaners to have it cleaned, all of the stains came out. But actually I'll put some pictures up, but if you see the size of the dress, it is the same size and weight as the most average wedding dresses. So it did cost an additional $120 to have it clean. Aside from the little clips to have her train clipped back on, very little to no alterations. So that was amazing that we got that dress, the dress of her dreams for roughly $500. Like, well, just over 500. Please don't. Ew, poop. Oh. She drinks the water out of the water table. Can you not? So that was amazing. We saved a shit ton of money in that regard. Also, be sure to book hair and makeup appointments well in advance. I'm talking like 6 months in advance. I have heard some parents will ask me, well, what about going to like MAC counters? Can't you get a free makeover there? You can. All you have to do is you can go to a MAC counter, buy the lipstick, and it's free just for the cost of the lipstick. But at least in our closest mega city, I have heard some freaking horrible horror stories about them overbooking or some of their makeup artists calling in sick that day. And that, to me, it's not worth it. Also, with makeup artists, I like to go and have a trial done, or I like to be familiar with their work. If you're getting a makeup artist from MAC, not that there's anything wrong with that. I've had my makeup done there a million times myself, but you get whoever is working that day. So I have also heard horror stories where parents have told me I took her there for prom makeup and it was great. There was no problem. There was no scheduling issue. Everything was on time, but it was too heavy. It was too theatrical. It was too drama. She wasn't happy with it. She came home and washed it off. And again, I'm not trying to center out MAC counters at all, but look at the brand. Like, they're known for their wild and out there colors, and not that they're not talented, but again, you're kind of getting what you pay for. If you're getting a makeover at a makeup counter for the price of an $18 lipstick, you really can't get all that picky and choosy about it. I prefer to have a makeup appointment booked well in advance. If I'm not familiar with their work, you can cruise pretty much any artist's social media now, which is amazing. I also have my daughters look up ideas. The one makeup artist that is working with Grace this Thursday, she's also my hairdresser, so I clearly fully trust her. I originally met her. She styled a photo shoot that I was in, so I trust her as far as makeup as well as hair is concerned. She did Tatum's grade 8 grad 4 years ago, and now she's doing Gracies. Tatum's makeup artist is actually a friend of hers from St. Thomas, Ontario, and it was a little heavy. It was a little darker than what Tatum was used to, and when she got in the car, I love dark, I love glamour makeup, I love those like big, heavy, darker the better eyes. I loved it. I was just, I was just stunned when she came in the car. Mommy's filming a video. Mommy, look at you, got a big diamond on your eye. But Tatum was a little taken back by it. She was like, Mom, I don't know if I like it, and the lips are too red, and the eyes are too dark. And I said, Tatum, you're wearing Lululemon shorts and a t-shirt right now. Please, don't make up your mind about your makeup until you slip the dress on. You really have to be supportive of your daughters, of how they're feeling that day, because it's an even bigger day to them than it is to us moms. And in my case, I'm a show mom. I'll admit it. My daughter cheered. She won provincials and nationals. I'm a show mom. I am, to a certain degree. But, I was trying to be supportive of her, and I understand why you feel this way, but please, 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 Tatum, wait till we put everything on, because it's going to come together. And it's definitely not your everyday kind of makeup. That's not what you were going for. Once you put on the dress, the look, it did. It was flawless. It all came together. And again, I will put the pictures in this video somehow. With Grace, obviously, there's an age difference. She's only 14. It's grade 8 grad. I wanted her look to be young, fresh, not so heavy. So I am very, very, very confident in my stylist, Joy. She will do a phenomenal job. She did a phenomenal job for Tatum's grade 8 grad. I should actually put those pictures up as well. It's hard to believe that was 4 years ago. So much has changed in 4 years. So with Grace's dress, hang tight. Sorry about that. Where was I? Okay, so with Grace's dress, my kids couldn't be more different. Like, they are night and day. Tatum is kind of like me. She'd be quite comfortable nude 24/7. She's very comfortable in her skin, very confident, so on and so forth. Grace, not so much. She's confident, but she's very modest and more conservative. A lot of the grad dresses that we had seen in these magazines and stuff, they were sweetheart neckline. She is a little bit bigger chested. She's very self-conscious of that. She didn't want anything to make that accentuated. She doesn't like bare shoulders. She doesn't like the grade 8 grad style that are like tutu, super short, all legs. And it doesn't matter. I could tell her a million times over, you look beautiful. You have phenomenal legs. That's not where she hangs out. That's not her comfort zone. And not only do we want our daughters to look beautiful, we want them to feel beautiful and feel confident in their outfit of choice, because they're the ones that have to wear it. They're the ones, like in Grace's instance, she'll walk across the stage in that dress and accept her diploma, and I don't want her fidgeting and super self-conscious. I want her to feel beautiful and glamorous and worry about having the time of her life, not about wardrobe malfunctions, and if she feels vulnerable in the dress. So she had found the most beautiful dress online, and I don't know what it was, like a Pinterest or somebody hadn't tagged the designer. I had no idea where to get the dress, but again, that was kind of the dress for Grace that we modeled all things against or compared everything to, you know. It had a bit of a sweetheart neckline, but it also had like the sheer all the way up to the neck, you know. It was a little bit longer. It wasn't so form-fitting in the breast area, you know, everything we were comparing to this dress. We showed it to one of my friends, and she was like, oh, that's beautiful. That's so Grace. That would be perfect on you. Sure enough, I get a text message from her with a picture. There's somebody on Facebook in St. Thomas selling this dress. I opened up the picture, and it wasn't the same. But, oh my word, it was as close as we were going to get. And I'm like, what's the deal? Like, is it a secondhand dress? Could I get so lucky to get 2 used dresses in mint condition? Like, that's what I mean from going, what could have been the most expensive year of my life, and the dresses are where the majority of your budget is going to be spent. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. So I contacted the seller, and she had purchased it to wear to her boyfriend's prom the year before. She was a plus size girl, and she ordered a triple XL from China, thinking that it would be big enough. She's not a 3XL in our sizing, but in Eastern sizing, she was hoping that it would fit. And that's kind of the risk that you run when you're ordering online. If you intend on doing that, I would suggest doing it like 11, 12 months in advance, because you run the gamut of having to do a return and so on and so forth. To me, I wasn't into that kind of stress. You can get amazing dresses, like designer dresses, for great discounted prices, or knockoff designer dresses for great discounted prices. But again, I'm not brave enough to fuck with sizing. I don't have the patience for it, and it's supposed to be a fun time. So Grace is like, I love this dress, and it was way too small. This 3XL was too small for the girl, so she never wore it. Tag still on it. She's like, I spent $120 on it. They want X amount of dollars to ship it back, and I just decided to wear a dress I already had, and the event's over now, and I just want to sell it and recoup some of my money. Oddly enough, she too was in university now, and she's like, I'm broke. So for $80, she wanted $80 for this beautiful, almost identical to Grace's dream dress. We went and tried it on. It was too small for this girl, but swimming on my daughter, who is like, just went from a kid's size 16 to a lady's extra small, between extra small and small, right? So it was way, way, way too big for Grace. So I bought it anyways, just because of the way the dress is constructed. I thought, you know, what limited knowledge I have from sewing, I knew that it could be taken in. It's got a corset back. It is gorgeous, gorgeous. So I bought the dress for $80. I found a local seamstress who is in Rodney, Ontario. She owns the the purple door. She's the coolest chick I've ever met. She smokes weed, and she just has her little seamstress shop set up and a bunch of old antiques, and she's a bass player in like this local cover band. She's the coolest shit. She took the dress in and put jewels all over it, because that was the one thing that Grace wanted to change about the dress. It wasn't blingy enough. She wanted some bling. So she jeweled it all out, took the dress in for $50. She made the dress less than half the size it originally was and put these like gems all over the front of it for $50. For Grace to have a grade 8 dress all in $130. Yes. I was like so excited. Tatum got a brand new $400 dress for her grade 8 grad from Elizabeth Noel. It was beautiful, but it's a lot of money to spend for one day. Would I have? Absolutely. The sky is the limit when it comes to my kids. But I was in awe that these girls both, their idea or collectively agreed or fell in love with dresses that we found secondhand online. Tatum's was only worn for one day. Grace's was never worn. It just needed to be made to half size, you know. I really, really have to say that I got so lucky. Both the girls bought discounted shoes, because Tatum wanted white shoes and Grace got like a light mauve color, which they are spring selection shoes that went on sale by the time June rolled around. So I think Tatum got hers 50% off and Grace got hers 40% off. Amazing. What else? Tatum's hair, for what it was just a high bun with some baby's breath in it, was $120. Her makeup was $50. Grace is getting hair and makeup for $120. What other expense did we have? Transportation. That's another one that a lot of people ask about. For Tatum's grade 8, we borrowed a friend's like Hummer and Tatum's dad drove her and a bunch of her friends around in this really beautiful white Hummer. Grace, I guess maybe because we live out in the middle of nowhere and there's nowhere to go, like their school is just up there and they're having the grad party right across the street from my house at our local Legion. So it just, I don't know, she didn't ask. Had she asked, had she said, Mom, I want to have a limo and I want to do the whole 9 yards, I would have absolutely. But out here, that's not a thing. Like, and even Grace said to me, Mom, don't be extra. I don't want to be like standing out, because, you know, she's the city girl here. Most of these kids were born and raised here, right? So Grace is like, don't do anything that's going to make me stand out incredibly. I just want to fit in with my friends. And I'm like, okay. So she is going to travel with the rest of us. Tatum took a school bus to her prom. Her and her friends, and I chaperoned it. It was a great time. Her and her friends rented a school bus. A local guy out here drove it. I think it was like $350 to rent it for the night. Wound up costing every kid $20. They had a ball. It was a safe ride home. Obviously, in grade 12, they all have their licenses, but they also tend to have a few drinks. So it was nice to know that I had Tatum and all of her friends with me and didn't have to worry about anybody drinking and driving, going in and out of the city. So yeah, $20 for transportation on a big yellow school bus. It was so country. Perhaps had we lived in the city, Tatum, in all likelihood, would have rented a limo or done something like that with her friends. But we live in the middle of nowhere. To country kids, that's not really a big deal. But from my own experience, renting limousines and stuff like that as well, if you live in a city, you're going to want to do that at least 6 months ahead of time. The one and only other expense, no, I guess there was 2 gifts. I purchased a Pandora bracelet and charm. I gave my daughter that on the channel. I haven't quite decided what I'm getting Grace, and it's this Thursday, so I need to hustle and figure that out. The girls reuse jewelry. Hang tight. Sorry about that. So for jewelry, we used a lot of the kids' jewelry that they have already. The one piece that didn't work out was the necklace that Tatum wore to her dad and stepmom's wedding. It was a beautiful three-strand pearl necklace. That's what she wanted to wear, which was a beautiful, sentimental idea. But because her dress line was so high, it was open back, but the front of it was so high, it looked kind of silly with the dress. So we decided to pin it to the inside of the dress instead so she could have it with her. She had the new bracelet that I purchased. She wore earrings from her dad's wedding, but they were her stepmom's earrings that she was wearing, not her earrings that she wore the day of the wedding. She wore her stepmom's pearl earrings. What else? Yeah, so I was really lucky even in that regard. Grace doesn't want a lot of jewelry. She's just going to wear her regular pearls with her little diamond studs. So jewelry we already have. She too has a higher neckline, and then she's quite confident that the front of the dress is blingy enough that she doesn't want anything too much more distracting. She wants the dress to be the centerpiece. The only other thing that we did buy was a pair of rhinestone, like, glittery slides for her to wear at the dance because she's really not into heels. Plus, Grace is tall. Like, she's only 14 and she's, I'd say, almost 5'6". She doesn't need the height, but she's more of a comfort girl. So we got her some sparkly slides to slip into for her dance. Gifts are subjective. Like, really, you don't have to go crazy over and above on gifts, because I think the dress and the day and all of these things can be considered gifts as well. I'm thinking about perhaps getting Grace a Pandora bracelet and then like a little graduation charm or something. I still have yet to figure that out. I'll get back to you on that. And the only other expense that I have for both the prom as well as the graduation is a photographer. A lot of people might think that that is ridiculous. Take your own pictures, what have you. It's my personal opinion and my personal beliefs. Yes, photographers are expensive, but it's money well spent. When the big day is over, when the celebration is over, when my kids get to university and they're broke and they sell the dress and they don't, what do you have left? You can't keep the bus. She'll have a Pandora bracelet, but we're going to add a million charms to it. And it's not a memory of prom. It's not the memory of grade 8. Like, you can't, I know we can't live in these moments. We can't hold on to them. But to me, I have never once cringed at the price of a photographer for a special event. I am always so busy fluffing dresses, fixing eyelashes, doing this, running after baby, greeting company. Hi, Mom, can you guys get your asses over here? The photographer needs you in the picture, blah, 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 blah. I'm the busy mom. I'm the go-to. I'm the organized. I'm Miss Fix-It. I'm doing this, that, that. I don't have fucking time to take pictures. If it was up to me, I would have zero photos, because I'm always way too busy in the moment, helping everybody else, doing everybody else. When the day is done, I go back and look at my pictures and I'm like, fuck, I took 2 pictures while we were getting our makeup done. And that's all I have, right? So I hire a photographer. Luckily, we have a family photographer. She's a friend of mine. I do get an amazing rate, because when she first started in photography, I used to model. So I've posed for her several times when she was first learning. You know, kind of like a you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So I do have industry friends who do tend to give me a great rate. But all the same, I even if you don't have friends in the industry, I would still highly suggest, I mean, that's all you have at the end of the day. That's all you have is those photos. I mean, I hired her for a birth photographer. She did Tatum's grade 8 grad. She's done every set of Mother's Day pictures. She's done Ella's birthday pictures every year. Like, I don't know. I've hired her for birthday parties. I don't know. I cannot stress how much having a photographer means to me, because at the end of the day, the photos are what I have, and beautiful, beautiful photographs at that. I can take half decent pictures, but come on. A trained professional versus what I'm going to get on my iPhone, it's not even comparable. So if there's one avenue where I would say splurge, treat yourself, is look into photographers. You don't even have to have industry friends. Search on Facebook. There are tons of photographers who are learning, who give great package rates. For these grads and proms, you don't necessarily need a photographer to follow you around all day. It's not a fucking wedding, but you could see what their rates are to come out and photograph you and your family for an hour. You know, there's a lot of really talented self-taught photographers nowadays as well that would give you a great rate. I mean, if you look for like the Barb Weirs or the, just thinking off the top of my head, like the first 40%, like some of the big name photographers in my area, you're looking at, you know, $2,500 to start. No. That is not at all what I spend to have these events photographed. But the girl that does them is wicked talented, super affordable, and that is one area where I have no regrets in having that expense, because the photographs will be beautiful. I will definitely share some of those on my channel. Comment down below if there's anything that I missed. If you have graduates, this month, it's June. Everybody is doing graduation and prom and so on and so forth. Comment down below, or let me know, what were your kids' proms and grads like? I would love to hear from you. What was your own prom or graduation like? Comment down below. Also, let me know what you want to see for next week's Most Requested Monday. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.